Well, this week, as per usual at this time of year, I'm going to give you a quick update on my pumpkins and squash because I get so excited by them. Let's go and have a quick look. So back to my small sugar, which isn't looking so small now. Fantastic. And I noticed when I peeked the other night that in here somewhere, I will find it, they hide. Ah, there's another one. Look at that. And I know that I've got another one down there. So they're going well. That's fantastic. And I'll just show you what's been named the pond variety of squash because, well, they're dipping into the pond. Look at that beauty. Amazing ribs on that, fantastic. So, squash and pumpkins coming along nicely. Oh, just spotted another one. Ah, look at that. They're hiding. Okay, so I've had loads of great information about my potatoes and the problem that I was having with scab. And I have to say, I think everyone hit the nail on the head. My watering has not been as regimental as it might have been. So, well, the potatoes, I think most of them are going to have to come out. That way we can get them peeled, get them mashed, and get them into the freezer, and then nothing goes to waste. Well, I've got an order in for beetroot. Mrs. K is making beetroot chutney, which we love. And it's going to require, I think it's £4, and there's already a pound in the house. So the plan is to pick another 3, and that's about 9 beetroot by my reckoning. So I'm going to take this off, and we've got 3 different varieties in here. So I'm going to pick 9 nice examples, and that'll probably be 3 of each, which will make for some nice flavours. What I'm going to try and do is, where there's 2 beetroot growing together, I'm just going to pick one of them, let the other one continue to grow on. Now they're not big enough to make up a pound, so I think we're going to have a few more of those. Let's see what else we got. Oh, there's a nice one. So there's a golden variety. There's a variety in here with purple concentric circles, and then there's the good old traditional Boltardi. So that's one. Let's get this one out next. Look at that, what a beauty. Oh, and there's one fallen out there, so I'll have him. So I'd like to tell you how to make beetroot chutney, but to be honest, I don't know. That's something that Mrs. K has always done, and I've not had a go myself. That'll be another pound. And then this one. And in here, probably the best beetroot I think I've ever grown. Let me show you these. Now one more, and that one over there, I think. Look at those. Fantastic. Right, I'll give them a bit of a clean up. Chop the leaves off, leave them in the compost, and then pop them in the trug. And then I'm on to onions. I'll show you what I'm doing. Well, I've been pretty staggered how these onions have continued to grow, even though there's categorically white rot in this bed. And I've taken out the ones that were the most affected and crossed my fingers and hoped that these would keep on growing so that I'd have a harvest. And one of my subscribers prompted me the other day to get them out and cure them. And the curing process really is to take them out of the ground and leave them laid out in the sunshine, and we've got a bit of sunshine forecast. So that's what I'm going to do. Let's get this net off and see what's going on. So this variety is called Globo, and you can see the spaces where I've taken onions out that have been affected. And I can see this one here is probably the worst looking of all of them. So I'm just interested, and yep, sure enough, there you go. You can see the white rot on the bottom of it. But I'm hoping that a lot of these are going to be okay. Proof will be in the pudding. So they're coming out, and I'm going to lay them out and allow them to cure. And as I go along, I'll take a look to see whether they've got white rot or not. And I'll show you the results once I've got them out. Well, I'm surprised and delighted at the same time, because these onions that I've laid out here, they seem to be not affected by white rot. No evidence anyway that I can see. And I'm going to do my best to store these, and we'll see over time whether that works out. And there's about 2, 4, 6 there that have definitely got white rot. So just take a look at those. I think that's probably the best onions in terms of size that I've ever grown. And it's just a shame that white rot is prevalent here, but best foot forward. I think next year, I don't know, I'm tossing up whether or not to grow any at all. I'm thinking perhaps if I chose 1 or 2 of the raised beds that have never had onions growing in them, that might work. Jury's out, but I'm definitely not going to grow their volume, and they're not going back where I've had them before, and that's limiting the number that I could grow. But I can tell you one thing, if I'm going to grow onions next year, it's going to be Globo from real seed, and that is just an enormous onion, and it's supposed to be a good storer, so fingers crossed. I'm pleased with that. I don't know whether it's me, but this year seems to be quite a prolific year for cabbage whites. And this lavender bush, whilst also attracting the bees, has got its fair share of whites. There's even one flying past there. And there's been days on the allotment this week when they've just been everywhere. So keep an eye out. If you've got anything that still needs netting, get it done, I think. They seem to be on the rise. Well, there's a lot of people who watch the channel who are relatively new to vegetable growing. And I had a request last video just to show the process of prepping my run of beans for the freezer. It's not a long process, and I only picked these 3 days ago, so it'd be interesting to have a quick root round and see what's in here. I can already see some. I'll pick what I can, and we'll have a look at just what I do for preparation for the freezer. It really is straightforward. You'll be glad to know. So let's get picking. Well, I'm sure I've missed a few when I picked them 3 days ago, but not that many. And it just goes to show how quickly these beans grow at this time of year. That's basically 3 days later, and we've got, well, a good few pounds there. So, get rid of that wasp. With no further ado, I'll take these into the shed and show you the next steps that I take anyway. So here we are. This is the crop, and it's a real simple process. A nice sharp knife, it makes the whole thing a lot easier. And I just take off the ends and then run the sharp knife down the side of the bean. And the skill that you develop over time is to be able to run one full length and take a thin slice off of the edge and then repeat on the other side. And I made that look easy, but trust me, I go wrong all the time and end up with multiple pieces. But just for the camera, that one worked out. And then you've got your bean, which is basically trimmed on both sides. And of course, what that does is it reduces the risk of having any of those stringy bits which are naturally in the edge of the bean. And then into a fresh bowl and diagonally slice is the way we like it. And I guess you just cut these in the way that you like to eat them, but that sort of shape is perfect for us. And we work through our beans doing that until we've got a nice full pot, and then I'll take you through the next stage. So let's see how quickly I can do these. Well, in true amateur videography style, I left the microphone off at this point. I think it's a first for me, but anyway, it gives me a chance to wax lyrical over the top of my video. And here I'm trying to indicate to you that using a sharp knife is probably the best way forward. And if you use the end of the knife, it helps you get around the edges and get rid of those stringy bits. This bean was just one of those beans that was just too hard, and you know straight away when you start to cut into it that it's really not going to work out, and the best thing to do is to discard them rather than ruin a really nice plate of fresh green beans. So there we are, they're ready. I'm sure everyone's got many different types of tools and implements to achieve a nice clean bean, and well, put in the comments if you use something that helps. And then basically they go into the freezer bags, and I don't prepare them in any other way. They're not blanched, which is putting into boiling water and pre-cooking. They're put straight in fresh. And I think the advantage of that is that when you come to take them out, you can just take out a handful if you want. They don't stick together because there was no real moisture in the bag when you put it into the freezer. So this little group of beans that I've just done will make a couple of bags, and that's about the right amount for us. And those will go into the freezer. And then during the winter months, when it's cold and you're feeling like some fresh vegetables, these really taste like they've just come off the plot. And I think the key to that is how quickly you get from picking them, preparing them, and getting them into the freezer. I'm convinced that the quicker you can achieve that, the fresher they are. But that's 2 nice bags of beans, and Mrs. K will be glad she missed the peeling part of this and just got into the eating part of it when they come out of the freezer. Good times. And this can go in the compost. Some of it will go to the chickens. Well, that's another cracking harvest. There aren't many days at this time of year where I don't go home with a whole load of food, and today's no exception. Well, that's me done for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the like button and why not subscribe? Hit the bell icon and then you'll get notified every time I upload a video, which is every Wednesday, every Sunday at 8 p.m. And you can comment too. I always look forward to the comments and I answer every one of them. So come along, join my journey. Have a good time.